Greetings and welcome back to Switched to Linux. Today we're going to have a look at Devuan. Is it Devuan? Devuan? I don't know how to pronounce this thing. We'll call it Devuan or Devuan. I don't know. But anyway, this is Debian without SystemD. For those people that do not like SystemD, want nothing to do with SystemD, believe that SystemD is a backdoor for the NSA to come in and search all of our stuff. This will be the distro for you. Do I believe that? No. I have not seen any compelling evidence that SystemD is specifically bad, but I am reading through the criticism section on the Wikipedia page here, and there's some things I can understand why you might not want to. And the cool thing about Linux is, hey, we have variety and options, and so that's definitely what we want to look at. All right, so greetings, everybody who is on today. Bruce Scott, hello. Mitchell, greetings. And Paul Man, how's it going there? That's it. That's all that's talking today. And it is the day before a holiday here in America, so I'm not surprised if a lot of people are not on. There will not be a live stream tomorrow. I may or may not post a video tomorrow. I really don't know yet. We'll figure that out maybe tomorrow or maybe late tonight. I do have a lineage build video I can do if I happen to get around to editing it and can get all the edits in. I might do that. I might do something else. I don't know yet. Undecided. So tomorrow is an American holiday, so I will probably not be around. And so if you are looking for a video, just have a look at the 1,000 back videos, find something that you haven't seen before. So there is that. Hello, Penguin Revolution. I am doing well. How are you doing? I guess Penguin messaged Mitchell on Patreon. All right. Greetings. Oh, that reminds me. Maybe I should turn on Hex Chat, shouldn't I? Let's go ahead and turn on Hex Chat for anybody that might be watching on the IRC chat. Let's go ahead and do that. Don't make me log in as an admin. I'll be over here just enough. All right, let's see. Free node is up. And switch to Linux is on. Is anybody else here? Hey. Greetings all. All right, I'm not going to sign in as a mod over there right now. I'm just going to sign in there. That's me, officially. I'm on Switch to Linux right there. All right, hello, her. How's it going there? And Thomas Holt, hello, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Thomas, TJ is very left out of all of your discussions, giving all these wishings to CJ and never to TJ. No, that's okay. TJ, in reality, the reason TJ's not on camera, I've always said that she's not really that, but I do have some clearance from the mothership to say TJ is actually more often than not on the mothership. That's why she's never really around. And so, CJ is my in-house handler. He's always here. He's always watching. He's always just off the distance, making sure I don't bring any shame to the reptilian alien race. But TJ is actually always on the spaceship. That's why she's rarely ever around. Hello, Sleepy Eyes Vince. Greetings. Happy Thanksgiving to all the American buddies. And you are from the future. That is right. It is already Thursday down under. Let's see. Probably won't have long to record a couple videos today. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm working on getting the website for the new channel about ready to go. I'd like to get that launched. I have a new intro that I have done, and I'll show you guys that at the end of this if you would like to see it when we're done with all this. If anybody's still on, let me know in the chat there, and we'll go ahead and show you what the intro for the new channel is going to look like. And a special thanks to Chris Titus Tech, who I asked him who did his new intro, because that's who I wanted to do it. Although, no, I'm not changing the intro on Switch to Linux. I really like the intro on Switch to Linux, and I see no reason to change it. Happy Thanksgiving, also says Bruce Scott. Hello, Fox Forest. Looking foxy there. How's it going there? Warner Clayson, hello there. Also from the future. All right, Warner is also in the future. Rich Forges, how's it going there, sir? Good to see you jumping on here. Okay, I'm from Australia too. I mean, the future. Yes, a lot of time travels. We got, 3 confirmed time travels on this. Man, the space aliens are all happy. TJ is up on the mothership right now, monitoring all you guys and your space travels. And of course, CJ is back here somewhere. He's watching from somewhere. I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he is. Although I did have the first half of Thanksgiving. I always do Thanksgiving, Christmas stuff with the kid that I mentor a day before, so he can have time with his family. So he came over here, and we had our Thanksgiving dinner, and we actually gave the kiddies a Thanksgiving dinner as well. Last year we gave them chicken and mashed potatoes and stuffing and gravy. They didn't eat much of the potatoes or much of the stuffing, but they really enjoyed the chicken. So we doubled down on the chicken and saved all the stuffing and potatoes for us. So just FYI. Anyway. Hello, Hunter One. Greetings. Welcome back. Did your own intro? Yeah, I was working on my own intro too, but I want to do something slightly better. This is the new channel is going to be a much more it's going to be a much more upscale as far as since I'm going to be working inside the book and the authoring crowds, teaching people how to use FOSS software to do full book production across the entire spectrum. I wanted to just bring a little bit of extra higher quality to that channel. Not that this channel is low quality, but I want to bring a little bit higher quality to that one. And I was looking at the different options. Like I'll show you the intro I did, which I liked, but I thought it wasn't nearly as good as something slightly more professional. That's why I did one. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump on into this distro, and then we'll come back and chat until I get bored of chatting afterwards. Anybody over here? Jasmix is on the Hex chat. Awesome. Greetings. Hello to you. Remind me, I'll keep on looking over this way and having a look at the chat. Leader is in the 5th dimension. No, just the 4th. Just the 4th dimension. I have some contacts in the 5th dimension, but really it's just the 4th. Much better mic position for the audio. Yes, I do like this mic position better. I do want to get an arm eventually, but I think that this is nice. The problem with this one is if I hit the desk, it'll give me noises, and that's not as good. Understand that and get bigger. I might do that. I gotta go watch some of your videos, Penguin. I really need to do that. Daughter always cooks Thanksgiving dinner. She'll be arriving late, and you are a horrible chef, so the family will have to choose between Chinese takeout or the Waffle House. It's really hard to mess up a chicken. All right, get a chicken or a turkey, and works with a turkey too. Throw some spices on the top and throw it in the oven for a while. That's it. Devuan is appealing to me, but it was so unoptimized when I tried it. I'm not sure it's super optimized at this point, but we'll have a look at it. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh boy, he's back there watching me now. He's gonna be perching on his seat over there. All right, let me mark my comment where I am, and we will go ahead and get started. My web browser view, and let me pull this up. I'm gonna move my comments now because I'm gonna need to do it eventually. Welcome back to Switch to Linux. Well, today we're going to have a look at Devuan, or is it Devuan? I don't know. Let me know the correct pronunciation. This is one of the few times I'm not going to delete your comment if you're correcting on pronunciation, because I have no idea. So this is a distribution which is Debian without SystemD. Now, the traditional Devuan runs, I'll say that throughout the video, the traditional Devuan runs SysV, which is an option. This new version also has the option to do, is it called OpenRC? I always get it wrong. I think it's called OpenRC. I have it in the description there because I kept getting it wrong. And it's an experimental one. That's what I actually chose to install this on. Now, there's not a specific VirtualBox edition, which basically means you can still install on a virtual machine. We're going to be looking at it on a virtual machine, but that basically means that guest editions do not work out of the box. I did have to get them manually installed, so I did that. So all I did is I installed it. I installed it with the net installer because the non-net installer was 4.4 gigabytes and it was going to take me about 35-40 minutes to download. Net installer, 350 megabytes, downloaded that one. It installed the system completely up to date at the time of install, which was just fine. And then I just went through there and prepped the system as you would traditionally prep Debian to install the virtual machine guest editions. Got those installed, and there were no real issues with that. So why might you want to use Devuan? Well, it's going to be Debian, and it's going to be the latest version of Debian, but it is, as some people have said, a little bit not as optimized, not quite as polished, but it does not have SystemD. Now, I have not seen, for me, a major reason why I should not be running SystemD. Some people say it's a government backdoor or all these other things. I have not seen any solid evidence for that. And so I'm not necessarily going to buy into that. But what I'm not going to say is don't ever worry about it. If it is an issue with you, look for distributions that are not based on SystemD, and this is one of those. I believe MX Linux also uses SysV, if I'm correct, but this is a good option, and it basically installs Debian without SystemD. You have two options, as I said. You have the SysV, and you have your SysV and OpenRC is what I'm running here. And let me go ahead and get logged into the virtual machine, and we will jump on over and have a look at this. All right, so since you're installing Debian, you really do have the choice between a variety of different desktop environments. I decided to go with Plasma this time just because I haven't run Plasma for a while. I almost chose Cinnamon. You had Cinnamon, GNOME, Mate, XFCE, Plasma, and I think one or two other options as well. And so here we are installed. Of course, we are running full screen because I've went through the process of manually installing the VirtualBox Guest Editions. So just do an online search to look at how you install the Guest Editions, and then pop in the CD, run the auto run, and you're all set to go. Of course, you had to do that since it's based on Debian. Debian does not add your basic user to the sudo group. You have to log out, log in as your root user, or you can add your user to the sudo group, whichever one you want to do. I've added myself to the administrator group now, so I can't actually run updates and stuff, but I did everything through the root first. So here we are on the desktop, and we're not going to have any real surprises here. If you are familiar with Debian, you're going to have a very similar experience. Just out of the box, of course, we're running Plasma. No surprises here, although, hey, surprise, surprise, I have no other wallpapers to choose from. Really? I think that Debian might do that as well. We don't have a lot of wallpapers, but hey, it's Plasma. We can click on this button and look for wallpapers to download. That's one of the reasons I love Plasma, just the ability. Ooh, what's this? This looks cool. I don't think I need 4K. Let's just go with the HD here. So, all right. Let's go ahead and apply that. Ooh, beautiful. Let's go with that. All right, so there we are. And of course, let's see if we have options, layout, desktop, or folder view. Of course, the folder view will enable your icons. Of course, that just crashed on me. I'm not sure why, but let's go ahead and pull that guy back up. And now we have other options. Maybe it's just resetting some things inside of there. Let's have a look at what is installed on our system out of the box. Just basic build here. So education software, mathematics and science, graphics. We have LibreOffice. We have GIMP. We have KDE. By the way, QuidSub just did a video on the new Glimpse, the unoffensive fork of GIMP, if you want to have a look at that. We do have a couple different browsers installed. We have Konqueror, of course, and we have Firefox. We have Kmail installed. Basically, your full suite of KDE applications, because when you're installing Debian, you're going to get pretty much anything that's going to come with a traditional Plasma install. We should have, there's Kmail again. Looks like we have LibreOffice. Whoa. Let's go back to that again. Trying to see if we have LibreWriter, so word processor. So right now, if you're kind of new to Plasma, the default is it's going to tell you what it is here and the actual application name in the bottom. You can change that in the system settings. If that's a little annoying to you, it is kind of annoying to me. So when I run this production, I like to do that. You can see there's really not a lot else. So they did actually de-bloat some of the system a little bit. Debian does come with a lot of games and other things installed that I've never been a huge fan of. And so it's good to see those taken out. We're running here on just over half a gigabyte of RAM. Of course, this virtual machine is running 6 gigs and 4 CPUs. So it is running fairly well. It's responding quite nicely. I'm not seeing any real issues. So as far as basic tools, utilities, we're not going to have any surprises here. Ultimately, all we are looking at, and I don't think there's anything here from this distribution that really makes it stand out on its own, other than we've taken Debian, we've gotten rid of SystemD, and we've added our choice of system initialization. This version here, though, does look a little bit more polished. It almost feels like I probably can use it. I probably can use it in production, and I don't think that I've had that feel when I've looked at this before. So here's Discovery. We can see the different applications that are here. Maybe. Are there applications? I don't know. Apparently I'm not getting anything here. We might need to refresh our cache here. Okay. So I think in a nutshell, that is Devuan. Not a bad system overall. Hey, like I said, we have Debian, we have no SystemD, we have your choice of installers. I think what we might want to do, let's go ahead and have a look at the installer, shall we? So give me a second, and we'll go ahead and wipe the system out, and we'll have a look at the installer for this. And when we do that, you'll get a chance to kind of see how the installation runs. And really, it's uses a basic Debian install, so it's not going to be super surprising. There's really the one change, and that is you have your choice of desktop environment. Well, that's always in Debian. You have your choice of system initialization. Let me get rid of that. Install our net installer here. And we'll go ahead and get this guy started up. So we'll see how far we can go through this installation process. So here we have a graphical installer here. We have your basic install. We have an install with speech synthesis. That'll drive me crazy. I don't like that, Dave. So here is our basic installer. If you have installed Debian before, this is going to be very familiar to you. I said there's really only going to be one major change that's going to be different. It is going to take you about 20-25 minutes to install, particularly since we are running this as a net installer. So it's downloading everything it goes from the net. But that is a good way to get a system that's completely updated out of the box. It's pretty much doing everything for itself automatically here in my virtual machine. The only major issue, if you are testing this in the virtual machine, understand it will not run guest editions out of the box, so you're going to be stuck into a 1024 by 728 resolution unless you know how to change your or install your virtual guest box. Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Install your virtual machine guest box editions. All right. So here we are. I'm trying to type stuff and talk at the same time. So here we first set up a root password. Here is our basic username, and our password. Of course, I gave the root user and my basic user the same password. Don't do that if this is a production system, but we're running this on a test system right now. It's detecting my disks. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to kill my partition here in order to do this. But I found here that guided use entire disks worked well for me. We also have the ability to set it up encrypted, and you can do a manual disk configuration as well. So, of course, if it is production, if you have anything sensitive at all, definitely I recommend encrypting it. So here we have our all files one partition, which is recommended. You can do a separate home partition and a separate partition for home, var, and temp. New users, just go ahead and use our first one. And now we are going to finish partitioning the disk. We have to toggle this one to yes. And toggling that one to yes will now partition the disks and start working on the installation. Now, hopefully we can get to the step where we are going to be installing, choosing our initialization system before the full install. I think that is the case. give this a quick second to run here. Check in on the chat. SystemD's login thing not starting. Yeah, Devuan is like Debian, badly pronounced. System bloat. Yes, that is true. It is, SystemD is bloated. Yes. You want some waffles now? That does sound good. Maybe I should go get some waffles, man. I'm waffling on that idea. I don't know. Take your time. Still working on some things. Just getting started. All right. OpenRC. Yes. Run it or not. It is not an option, unfortunately. We just have 2. All right. Give myself some seconds of silence to find my spot in my edit. Okay, so this step of the installer, then it asks us if we want to scan extra CDs or DVDs. We're going to say no. You would say yes if you had downloaded the entire library and burnt this onto disks. You might need to swap your disks, but since we're using a net install, we don't need to do any of that. Choosing our package manager. So basically this is going to choose an archive mirror in the country where you are at. So I'm going to pick United States. And then we have 3 options to choose from. You have us.devuan.org, or we have deb.devuan.org, or packagemaster.devuan.org. We're just going to go ahead and use the first one. I do not need to do anything for my HTTP proxy, so we'll go ahead and do this. It's going to configure apt, and hopefully the next step is the installation system. We're going to stop just shy of the final running the installation because that part will take quite a bit longer to do, but we can walk all the way up to that part. Unless you guys want to see me install the guest editions. I don't know. Gave a little money to the dev fund earlier on the Devuan start. Good to see it was not wasted. Yeah, it's looking good. I think it's looking like something you can actually use now. Yeah. I installed Debian 10 the other day. I didn't have to use visudo, or is in the sudos file. That might be something that they did more recently. I can't remember. Does Devuan use the same kernel as Debian? Does it also have a stable release and a testing version? I do not know if it has a stable or a testing. I'm guessing that it does have the same kernel. We'll look at that, hopefully. Well, I don't know if we will look at that because this will take like 30 minutes to install. All right, so configuring popularity contest. Note, the default option is no. This is what I like to see if you want to do any form of data collection on a system. It should be explicitly opt-in. Debian and Devuan do it right. Praise. So that's very good. By the way, there was an article on It's FOSS today, or was it yesterday? It was either yesterday or today, looking at the Zorin data collection that a Reddit forum popped up, and my last video on Zorin 15 Lite was in there, and in that article on It's FOSS, which is cool. And one of the cool things about Zorin, though, is they are working on making that at least have an option as to the install. I don't know if it's an opt-out or if it's an opt-in system, but they did say it is going to be in the next Zorin release, just an FYI. So we're going to say, no, I do not want that to run. I should have pushed that button before I talked. All right, so over here we can choose our Devuan desktop environment. I don't know what this first one is. Maybe I should run with that. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. And we have the option XFCE, Mate, Cinnamon, KDE, LXQT. I'm guessing Devuan desktop environment's probably GNOME, if I believe that's, I think, what Debian's is. So let's just go ahead and run with that. Why not? We'll go ahead and click our continue button there. Oh boy, now it's retrieving thousands of files. That's exciting. Back to comments. We've pronounced Devuan. Okay. Just, do I thank you, Stuart, for just subbing. Thanks for coming along, my man. Thought there was an option in the Debian installer to add sudo, but easily missed. Oh, you know, that might have been the early step. I think you're right, Vince. On the earlier step where I plugged in the password for the root, I think if you leave that blank, it automatically adds you to the root. I think that's the case. So yes, I think you're right about that. We're trying out Farron OX next with KDE. Really like it. Yeah, that is a really slick distro. I already had a glimpse. Oh, that was a pun, wasn't it? Devuan. Or Devuan, like Juan. Okay. I should have 419 like Debian because it follows stable. Didn't see the installer, but may have breezed by it with it turned on. Yep. Is this using the Debian repositories then? I believe it does. Try Void Linux. It is also without SystemD, but uses run it instead. Yeah, I had issues with Void Linux in the virtual machine, but it was specifically an issue with the version of virtual machine I was using. Does Debian run with dual monitors? You know, I don't know. I have a Debian build over here. It's still Debian 9, but I have a Debian build over here that I could try it. I could just plug it into this computer and see, but my guess is it's probably going to be dependent upon the desktop environment, how well your DE manages it. Yes, Debian is a conjunction Deborah and Ian. Yes. Dev plus 1. There you go. Sounds like an odd couple. That's right. It's Deb and 1, right? Always hated this installer. Mick. Hello. How's it going? Let me go ahead and pull up the comments. That way you guys actually can see comment feeds instead of, 30 more seconds of installer. Currently running Endless OS as a daily driver. The problem, man, just installing that is just an endless process. Oh, never mind. Anyway, quite surprised by its stability and usability. Even if I do not like its fenced garden approach to desktops and packages. Yes. Prefer kernel 5. All right. Quite a Linux noob. Why does a distro not having a SystemD a big deal? So this has been a big debate, Jason. A lot of people have said, oh, it's a backdoor NSA spying tool. I have yet to find any evidence. The biggest and most valid criticism of it is that it is a large system that starts to creep its way into the underpinnings of the system. And so what that ultimately is going to mean is that it could become large to the point where it is required to run certain packages and certain operating systems. And that's going to make it a little bit kind of like a Windows 10 thing where you're kind of locking you into it. That's the most valid criticism I've seen. I personally don't get hung up over the initialization systems. I've had to do things with SysD as far as adding, like when I added my ebook server onto my NAS, did that through adding things into SysD, and I found it to be good and easy to work with. I didn't find a problem with it, but the good news is in Linux you have choices if you definitely want to choose a different initialization system. You can. We have options. There's a lot of options. Endless is very difficult, stable and difficult to break. It's very good for its target to users with limited or no internet access. My understanding is it actually has a pretty big EULA as well. Is that correct or not? I have not had a chance to poke into it. Q1 Fiend, how's it going, my man? I haven't seen you in a while. Hope things are going well for you up there where you're from. I shall not mention the state. All right. People dislike SystemD for a variety of both good and bad reasons. Frankly, it doesn't matter. Yep. SystemD is very un-Unix-like. Yes, that is the valid criticism, that it's a little bit more complicated. Like Unix has a general simplicity, a simplicity philosophy, and SystemD is anything but simple. Still waiting for good explanation myself. Seems many people find change difficult. Yes. It's the least packages, so you can install more if you want. Thanks for reminding me that I've got 50 megabit internet. I might have to look at Endless OS again. There you go. Yeah. Except the downside, it's going to take like 12 gigs to download. It's not un-Unix-like, but it's more suited for corporate needs. It's based on Mac OS startup system and NT's boot manager. I don't dislike SystemD. I just much prefer other int systems. I don't get my hopes up with Linux anymore. Just accept it. Yeah. Tired of Ubuntu's. I want to switch to Debian-based system. Considering Linux Mint Debian Edition, how is Devuan? Of the two, I would say Linux Mint Debian Edition is going to be definitely more. It's definitely going to be more ready out of the box. You're probably gonna have to fight with some things with Devuan. I'm not sure how installing codecs is going to go versus Linux Mint Debian Edition gives you a codec installer. I know if you're testing it out first on a virtual machine, Linux Mint Debian Edition is going to work. Devuan is not. If you're running anything that needs proprietary drivers, NVIDIA, things like that, LMDE3 is going to be a way better choice for you because the non-contributor codecs are already, or the repos are already set up and installed, so definitely better there. So of the two, if you're looking for a good system base to go, I would definitely do Linux Mint Debian Edition first. But Devuan's coming along. I'll have to see if there's a codec installer. User fix and Zorin 15 core. Awesome. Very cool. Debian install if you leave root password blank. Yes. Thank you for that reminder. Yep. Yeah, who reads instructions? Definitely not me. Endless OS ISO is a bit too big for my USB stick. Yeah, it's big. Parent OS is rolling release distro based on Devuan. Oh, is it? I did not know it's based on Devuan. Found vanilla Debian is difficult to install. Any tips? So the only issue that I've ever found installing it is on one, there's a couple installers that you have to choose from. On one of the installers, which is the Calamaris installer, sometimes it will not properly format your disks. It will give you an installation fail error. If that's your issue, then the fix to that is to go in and just open up your disk in just in the disks utility and just wipe your disk down to nothing, and then you'll be set to go. I'm going to give myself 10 seconds of silence so I can recut the video. All right, so after the packages have installed, now we have the option to choose which our initialization is. So, so we have SysV. So the original SysV initialization is a standard choice recommended. If you don't know what all this is about, just go with this first option. OpenRC is experimental. It's an alternative initialization system, and that is currently being tested, and you can choose that option as well. So it doesn't matter. The first one actually I did open. Let's go ahead and do the SysV now. So go ahead and do this. And now it's reminds us what we've chosen to use as if we had a choice to go back. And go ahead and do this. And it should actually probably take a little bit more time. So it looks like it's installing Grub. Maybe it's about done. I thought it was going to take quite a bit longer. So this step here, we need to decide where we want to install it. So you are generally going to want to install Grub. The only time you do not want to install it, so this is your bootloader. The only time you do not want to install this is if you are installing this on a disk that already has grub, in which case you're going to be running a grub updater to find the new build. So in this case, yes, we are going to, and we are going to choose this hard disk here. And then it'll go ahead and install grub in the proper location that we need to do. And then it's going to finish up the installation, and we should be just about set. So it says installation is complete. So let's go ahead and reboot the installation. So it will actually kick the ISO out and reboot the system, and we will be able to log right back in here into our system. So we went with the default, and maybe that's why it took a lot less time to install. I don't know. Doing Plasma does a lot. All right, so here's our basic option. Now, I actually had the option of my login screen when I did Plasma. This one here, we're just getting our basic one. So let's go ahead and get logged in and see what we get. So you can see that we're not full screen. This is because this system does not actually give us a guest editions for the virtual machine, so I'd have to manually install those. Okay, so we can use the default configuration or an empty panel. Let's go ahead and just use the default configuration because I'm not going to be fighting with this a lot. So it does look like, yeah, is this XFCE? Okay, so our default's XFCE. I wasn't sure what our default was going to be, if that was going to be GNOME or if that was going to be XFCE. So here we have our basic default XFCE, and of course, let me try going with a bigger screen resolution. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work. Yep, not going to work. So that's just because guest editions are not here. We did have, what's the kernel? It's at uname-r. For those asking about the kernel, 4.9. Well, hey, at least I could say the one I'm running on right now is actually older, but I was expecting a little bit newer of a kernel. I guess not, though. So we are running kernel 4.9 for those guys that have been asking. So let's see what we have out of the box on this build here. So just basic XFCE tools. We are running only 4% of our 6 megabytes here. Let's see. We have LibreOffice. We have GIMP. Let's see what version of GIMP we're on. 2.8 is our version of GIMP. Which I actually found, I think, even Linux Mint 19.2 is still running version 2.8 of GIMP, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and close GIMP out. And we have LibreOffice. Still running LibreOffice 5. I think this is a new version of Devuan. It just came out. I'm surprised it has such old packages. So this must be still running on Debian 9 instead of Debian 10. I thought it was based on Debian 10. So we are running 5.2. So I guess there's a criticism we have of the system is, yeah, it's everything in here is pretty stinking old. Do we have VLC 3 yet? Nope. I don't think so anyway. That does look like the VLC 2 interface. Oh, it is 3. Okay. We have VLC 3. That's good. So that's about what we get. There is installing Devuan. It does look like the packages are quite a bit older in there, and so maybe that might be a little bit too old for some people. It just kind of depends. That's kind of up to you. But hey, we do have a good system. It's going to be fairly stable based on Debian. It has the alternate initialization system. So that's your thoughts. Go ahead and make your own opinions about whether that's a good system or not a good system. All right, let's move my comments back over where they should be. Do you have to go on an adventure to find the right Devuan ISO? No, it's actually fairly easy to find. let's go with the Devuan here, and let's go ahead and have a look at what we're doing. And just come up here, push the download button, and then just choose where you want to grab your mirrors from. Download it directly, and then it tells you desktop live, net install, CD, DVD-ROM, virtual machine. Now, the latest version does not have the virtual machine, to my understanding. Let's go ahead and just have a look at it. So archive, this is Jesse. So this is ASCII. So this is the one I just downloaded. You guys saw that. So here we have desktop live, we have the embedded, we have the ISO, we have the minimal. We do have a virtual listed. Huh. Interesting. I guess it's images. It's giving us virtual machine images. Interesting. Yeah, I thought the release notes actually said they did not even have a virtual machine version of the latest one. Oh, well, interesting. So no, it's actually pretty easy to find. You don't have to go on this mad hunt. But, you know, I mean, that is part of the fun of Debian, though. I mean, if you can find the right ISO for Debian, you are qualified to install it. SystemD plus home should be a ringing bell. Yeah. When you snap, you need SystemD. See, there's a good reason to not have SystemD. Not for the faint of heart. Anything in particular that you're just stuck on? Yeah. Done Gentoo and Linux from scratch, and I still have issues with installing Debian. It's always some small weird issue. I've never had issues with Debian. I don't know. Wild hate with SystemD. I don't know. I have not found a compelling reason to not use SystemD. When do we get SystemD Linux? There you go. All right, SystemD is actually incredibly useful on server environments, though. Yeah, how's it useful on server opposed to any other? Okay. Easier if you download the ISO with a desktop already installed. They're hard to find them on Debian website, but they're there. Do a search, yeah. You tried Deepin 20 yet? No, I've not. I think I've burnt Deepin with enough fire. Maybe I'm just letting it sink it deep in the bottom of the ocean or something. Let it go deep and down, and I don't know. Maybe I'll go back and look at it. I don't know. MX Linux is Debian base 2, something you might want to check out. Yeah. Debian website is a hot mess. Yes, it is. Good and bad. There's a lot of magic behind the scenes to make sure stuff actually runs properly in order. It's just better for lazy people like me. There you go. My handler is back. What's up, buddy? What's up, huh? All right. I've got a fuzzy snake in my face. All right. There's most people who hate SystemD actually hate it. There are those people who complain, rightly so, saying it breaks Unix philosophy. Then there are the rest who say it's slow. Yeah. So SystemD is an initialization system that gets all of the system booted. So it's kind of like in BIOS in the operating system. So it kind of is responsible for loading and managing everything behind the scenes. Kitty, don't type on my keyboard. Kitty apparently wants to type you guys a message. It will install Devuan and swap the init system to SystemD. Uh-oh, are you moving my camera now, kitty? What are you doing, man? What are you doing, kitty? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's like I'm trying to bust into that bag of temptations. What do you think I'm doing? Artix is a SystemD counterpart of Arch. Yep. Good for lazy people like you. All right, very good. Hey, my old inorganic chemistry professor used to say that chemists are inherently lazy, so, you know. Deepin Beta 20. What's it based on now? Every version of Deepin I've looked at, they've changed that the core is. SystemD hater, it's just different. Prefer other init systems, but I still use SystemD on many of the computers. Yep. Good reminder ourselves how much better distros are. Yeah. Yeah, it has a rep for old kernels. How about a rep for ancient kernels? Hello, Babbler. Greetings there. Kernel 4.9. What the? Wonder who came up with the default XFCE layout. Yeah. Dock at the bottom is quite useless. Yeah. I'm not a fan of docks on the bottom, but, you know. Try updating it. We just ran the thing with a net installer. It's as updated as it can get. On Peppermint 9 on a laptop. I've tried Debian for my server, but still don't understand most of it. Yeah, I either run Ubuntu or Debian on servers. Probably install VB guest editions before trying to run GIMP/Glimpse, yeah. I recall SystemD is based on the boot program that the Darwin kernel used. If the government was interested in putting all these backdoors into consumer computers, you'd think they'd pick something more popular than Linux, like Windows. Oh, right, they do. That's right. That's right. How's it going there, Jesse? Okay. People who prefer other niche system services managers, what do you prefer? Yeah, I don't care. Titus Tech did an excellent video on how to find the right ISO if you want a non-free ISO. Cool. Nice. Yes, this is Debian without SystemD. Yes. Apparently it's old Debian without SystemD. Only problem with SystemD is it's all of the non-int tasks it's doing. See login D. Yeah. Proves the point, it needs an entire video explaining the site. Yeah. Yeah. Does Reptilian require US keyboard layout? Yeah, I mean, since I was adopted into it, it's whatever keyboard layout you used prior to becoming a Reptilian alien, then yeah, that's you know, so I just keep using that. We do have alien keyboards too. I'm getting quite proficient at using the alien keyboards, but still I use the US generally. Smith probably prefers to manage the system boot processes manually, probably. That's all right though, you know, that's awesome. Backing up never ends, but needs to be done. Yep. Try to reorganize files and backing them up. Boring stuff. Yep. Linux is on the same suicide mission that BlackBerry has been on. Should we start looking at BEs? I don't think Linux is on the suicide mission. Sure, there's portions of it that are, but the thing about a community like Linux is we'll just go ahead and let the people that are running headlong into the heart of the sun just go into the heart of the sun, and then we'll be done with them. They'll go fork it off, create their own thing, enjoy it, and then they'll crash and burn, and then the rest will sit there and go, "Oh, that was neat," and then we'll still be sitting here, Let's see, what's wrong with you making spot on predictions about Ubuntu months ago? Yeah. Hey man, I did make some spot on predictions. Martin McFly, another time traveler. How's it going there? Poor guy couldn't handle the truth. Those of us who support you watch in large part because you speak the truth. Yeah. I mean, there were some people that didn't like that. I still think it's hilarious how right I was about the Ubuntu video. Even the article in its FOSS was that its FOSS or was that FOSS Bytes? I forget. Anyway, the article that came out, about my video, basically saying that I'm promoting fear, uncertainty, and doubt in unjustified ways. It was completely justified. Completely justified. Because as of right now, if you go to the latest Ubuntu and you go sudo apt install Chromium, it installs Snap and then installs the Snap version of Chromium. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. Oh, well. Me, love panels, not docs. I love 4 panels with everything, and then find them with one click. Yep. Mint should be planning a new Debian edition. I think they are. I haven't seen much about it, but it is. This version of Linux Mint Debian edition is in the works. Probably be released early next year. Yeah, I think they're still working on 19.3 first. Think of the private internet access acquisition. I'm still looking into it, so there are some concerns with that in that there are some concerns in that the company that bought private internet access did do some shady things in the past. They are under different direction now, like a different corporate leadership now. So I want to look at it a little bit closer before I decide if I want to completely jump ship entirely. I'm still looking into it, but it's going to take some time. All right, we think about Purism and the Librem laptops. Puris was forked from Debian, so that would mean SystemD. I have not used the Librem laptops. I don't know Purism much more beyond the issue with the Librem 5 phones, and I think the Librem 5 phone issue is crazy. I really hope it works out, but I'm not holding my breath, and hopefully it works, but I don't know. I'll have to see what happens later. What is SystemD? I'm old and not Linux techie. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. All right. Ubuntu is scared because they are losing market share like crazy. Yeah. Didn't Canonical say they are planning on phasing out apt entirely? Not directly. There has been a discussion board about it, which is what I was talking about in my Ubuntu end of the era video, which they still, last I checked it, which was a couple months ago, haven't made any comment on it. That's basically a staging ground, something that they said in their comments. Well, we don't really use the system anymore. Well, here's the thing. Here's a tip. If you don't use the system anymore, get rid of it. Otherwise, I think, we'll just use it to, post your Russian mail order brides or something, to it instead. And so there's that discussion. They denied that altogether. But the fact is that right now in Ubuntu, they're starting to roll some packages to, when you install it via apt, it installs the Snap package instead, which is interesting. Jocom, how's it going there? Big fan. What OS do you use? I'm using Linux Mint Cinnamon here. I use Linux Mint Cinnamon also on my web design computers. I use Peppermint for writing computers, and I have an Arch build over here, which is just a media PC. Found a replacement for the start page search engine. I'm on DuckDuckGo right now, and I hate it. I find that the search results are just horrible. So no, I haven't. Maybe I'll look at Quant or Sirex soon. Look at Quant. See if Quant does it for you. That's another one recommended by the privacytools.io. Okay. Librem 5 phone hardware is only 3 or 4 generations old now. Yeah, that's right. Development theming in the same boat. I don't want to use Google, but other search engines are awful. Yeah, if you want good results, I mean, Startpage is still giving good results, but I'm just getting leery about it. I'm getting leery. So I moved over to DuckDuckGo for most things, and if I can't find what I'm looking for, then I drop and do a search for Startpage instead. So I didn't delete Startpage from the system. I just toggle the default to DuckDuckGo, and I'm using Startpage when DuckDuckGo fails me. Pastor is hilarious. He's also my best friend. Was pointing out someone in our church. Yeah, I'm not even going to say it. All right. I like Arch Manjaro, but have Void Linux if all goes to hell. There you go. Yeah. Must miss your Ubuntu video. Interesting about Chromium. Hopefully it doesn't happen when I go and do automated desktop builds for 2020 on enterprise environment. If it is based on Ubuntu 20.04, yes. So in the latest edition, which is Ubuntu 19.10, if you install the Chromium through apt, it automatically installs Snap. If Snap is not installed, and then it installs the Snap package for Chromium. Then the plan is to backport that back as far as 18.04. I'm not sure they're going to do it to 16.04 yet or not, but that's kind of the case. Chris jumped ship with PIA already. All right. I may not be too far behind. I don't know. Why does calculator need to be a Snap? Because Ubuntu wants everyone to use Snap, of course. That's why I'm not recommending Ubuntu anymore. Remember Startpage, CRX engine out. Yeah, I mean, you could try CRX as well. I did a search on CRX once on a live stream. It's the only time I ever had to pull a live stream down because I did a basic search for something innocuous and had, X-rated pictures showing up in the search results. No, I'm not interested in that. DuckDuckGo uses Bing. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Hello, Unchained. You were finally unchained and arrived late. All right, that's no big deal. Opinion on the accusations that Manjaro is spyware. I have not heard those accusations, so I do not have any opinions on it. If you can send me some stuff, I'll look through it and make a decision now. Yes, when DuckDuckGo fails, use Google. I think when DuckDuckGo fails, use Startpage. I still think Startpage is going to be better than Google. Startpage, it's just speculation and they're not releasing information they should be. Google, we know, is a flat-out spy. I mean, I'd rather feed some possible information to a potential spy than a flat-out spy. So DuckDuckGo first. If that fails me, I do Startpage. Even Google now is becoming useless. About dating. All right. And saying this lady has already told me she would marry me. Uh-oh. PIA, private internet access. Yeah, Proton might be the best VPN right now. They don't have any affiliate links, so I wouldn't be having an affiliate for it, of course. But that is one of the best ones right now that I know of. There's a few other on my lists that I'm looking into now. I think Snap is Canonical's last gap at influencing the Linux ecosystem after the failure of Upstart and Unity. And Mur. Don't forget Mur. Don't forget Ubuntu Touch. Should we go on? All right. Well, there's still 74 of you guys on. You guys want to see the new intro for the new and upcoming channel? I got to dig into my user files because it's on my other user accounts. But I will go and dig that up for you guys to have a look at. All right, desktop. Which one's which? This one versus... Okay, all right. I know where I'm going now. All right, let me go ahead and switch over my desktop view. And I will show you guys. All right, so the first one I'm going to show you is the one that I created that I wasn't feeling, so I decided not to go with it. A friend of mine made the music for me. We sat down here and decided kind of what we wanted to do with it. So a friend of mine made the music for this. And I'm going to show you first the one that I made, and I wasn't really feeling it, so then I had the other one made. So here's the first one. So So it's kind of going with this writing theme, this progression. You're writing your book, and then you need to produce your book and basically turn it from text into code and all that kind of stuff. I was going with that, but I didn't really like that intro. I wasn't feeling it, so I had this one made. All right, it looks like the desktop audio was too loud on that, so my apologies for that. But anyway, those are the two intros that I have. That channel, I should start putting out videos with that hopefully by middle of December. I'm finalizing some few things on the website, and then I need to get a few other video elements, just assets created, and then we'll go from there. All right, if you're interested, I start a search engine proxy. Seems easy enough. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Proton VPN is Swiss, but no third-party audits. Yeah. Haven't seen the Chromium snap behavior in 1804 yet in preset-based automated builds. Yes. Yeah, it's not in 1804 quite yet that I know of. Do a test build 2020 daily net boot next week. See what happens. I bet the 2004 daily build is going to have it. Is my bet. Wife says hi, and she demands me to back up her stuff too. All right. Well, hi, Anna Rita's wife. I own a 6-letter domain name that would make a catchy search engine. Cool. Hello, Mighty G, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Search.com. There you go. Is it really spying if everybody knows they're doing it? All right. No, it's not spying. It's just mass collecting. All right. What do you do when Google fails? Find other options. Is it family friendly? Did I have an error on my new one? If I have an error on my new one, I'm going to cry. I thought Dang it, I have an error on my new one. I got to go find that again and rebuild it. Quality control, folks. Quality control. That's what happens when I do stuff too early in the morning. Oh well. I'll see if I can edit it. If not, I'll just buy a new version. All right. Second video, although I like the first, would go with the first. Wait, okay. I think I like the second video, although I like the first. You'd go with the first. It looks more, you think the first looks more professional. I think the second looked more professional. I don't know. All right. Mass collecting. Better tape up your webcam. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll get that video fixed. So. Skin is way whiter in one camera than in the other. Yeah, it's because of my lighting. Like light, no light, light, no light. I have my center of the sunlight on right now, so. Okay, what do you guys think? The first video or the second video better? Which one do you guys think is better? What kernel version do you recommend using? I just use whatever kernel version works with your system. So I have not changed. I'm still running like 4.4, I think, on this computer here because it works. I'm not going to risk breaking the system by updating the kernel because there's no issues. If you're building a new Linux install, absolutely the best thing to do is I would go with the more recent kernels and test it thoroughly. Most people say the second. Yeah, I'm going to have to go fix that. That's sad. Oh, well. First one doesn't have a typo. Second is better. All jokes aside. Yes, I will fix the typo on the second video. So yes, typo aside, yes. 4.4, such a great kernel. Yeah. Latest kernel provided by your distro. Has the latest security patches. Yes, I do have the security patches updated. Black Friday to buy SD cards for $10 each. Samsung micro SD card, 32 gigabyte. 2 Lexar USB drives. Awesome. Nice. Doing some data backups. Any plans for tomorrow? I'm going to be eating turkey. Yeah. It'll be good. Not this turkey right here. Not this turkey. Right. Right, kitty. Right. You want some kitty treats. Let's go ahead and feed the kitty, and then we will wrap up our day here. Feed the beast. Feed the beast. Feed the beast. Feed the beast. Ready, buddy? Come on. Coming down this way. Oh, no. No, no. Oh, boy, kitty. We got paw. Houston, we got paw. Want an alien treats? There you go. There's some alien treats for you. Go get it. Get it, buddy. Get your face in there. Yeah, there you go. Here's another one. And we got one more for you over here. There you go. Are they finger licking good? They are. They're finger licking good. Yes, they are. They're finger licking good. Yeah, finger licking good, huh? All right, second video for sure. All right, maybe what I'll do is, since those are so cheap, like I spent $5 on a typo. Whoops. Oh well. But I'll go ahead and maybe what I'll do is I'll end up buying just a couple more of them, and just so we'll have a variety. I think that would be a cool thing to do. Hope you guys like the music for the video, because I like it. I think one of the things I had though is I kind of think the title's too long. I was kind of keeping it, I would like to keep it maybe 5 seconds instead of 9, and I'll use the sound as an outro instead. Which actually I could just use that video as an outro and do a shorter one for the intro. So I'll do that. Okay, CJ is getting fluffier. That's right, he's getting fluffier. It's a fluffy kitty. It's a fluffy kitty. No, you can tell my cat is not gender fluid. He does not have pink hair. Okay, that's my new kitty loves socks. Nice. All right, I was gonna leave, but I can watch the kitty eat. Yeah. Well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this guy up here. Any other final comments coming in, and then we will get back to it. So with that, we will catch you guys later. There will not be a stream tomorrow. There may or may not be a video tomorrow. I don't know. And so with that, we will be back on Friday for the weekly news roundup. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I don't know what the topics are yet, but it's going to be a good one. I know it. I can feel it. I can feel it. All right, guys. So thanks for coming along, and we will catch you on Friday.